ghost stories from 2017 or 18, according to whatever internet thing you're looking at. Summary for this movie. Skeptical Professor Philip Goodman embarks on a trip to the terrifying... What? Hang on. Retake it. Summary. Skeptical God damn it. We might have to restart from the beginning. Oh, god damn. Skeptical Professor Philip Goodman embarks on a trip to the terrifying after finding a file with details of 3 unexplained cases. Written and directed by Jeremy Dyson, who worked on Tracy Ullman's show, League of Gentlemen, and Psycho Bitches. Andy Nyman, who's known as more of an actor, also wrote this. Any details you got over there?
Tagline: be careful what you believe in. Distributed by Lionsgate and on Scream Factory Blu-ray 2018.
Cast highlight for this movie, of course, is our good old friend Martin Freeman's back. He plays a character called Mike Priddle, but I think the movie would have been much better if he was cast as Professor Goodman, because he's a good man, and he does a good job. I thought this movie was beautifully shot. In fact, I had to look up who the guy was that was a cinematographer, and he was award-winning. So he's been nominated for several awards and won a few.
Deserving.
Really makes this movie look good. The story itself it's kind of an anthology, I guess. The first little story is about a watchman. I don't know what this dude's guarding. I think it's an asylum, but it appears as though this building would probably be all right if it was left by itself, right? I kept waiting for this movie to be really bad, but because everybody kept saying it wasn't good. And I liked it all the way through. I had like 20 minutes left, and I'm like, is this thing going to shit on me at the end? And it didn't. I thought Martin Freeman, of course, does a good job. In fact, he does a great job at making a sequence stand out. He's kind of like the Willy Wonka of ghosts. I think this is a cool movie. I liked all the stories on their own, but I liked how they wrapped it all up in one nice little package at the end. I think it's underrated, and I gave it a 7.
The first time I watched this movie, I wasn't impressed, and I thought maybe part of the issue is I bought this was a blind buy. Everyone was talking about how good it was. It comes with a certified tomato fresh sticker on the cover, so I think maybe I went in expecting a little bit too much of it, and also I don't think I gave the movie as a whole a fair chance, because I think the first story is awful. It's so cliche and everything predictable. I thought that was going to be the tone through the whole movie. That's really not the case. After that first story, it's a really good movie to me. A British horror anthology, and it again has. I'm not saying it's like a Hammer movie, but it has the atmosphere like an old British horror movie.
Right. It's classy.
Yeah, it is. It's sexy even.
Woo!
It's dressed up.
It's smart.
It looks good. Good writing, put together well. The wraparound story is great and holds up on its own story. Right there with the other 3 cases. Felt it almost feels like a feature length, like one entire movie, opposed to horror anthologies usually feel choppy.
Yeah,
they don't all have the same tone and stuff like this. This almost feels like it's just a feature length.
Like they took a bunch of stories and just swirled them around in a pot together.
Yeah, it feels good. But I think that's the benefit of having 2 writers, opposed to you can have 8 or more writers in an anthology. And it's by the same 2 guys. This is adapted from a play, and it's the same 2 guys that did the play. They did the movie. So if you're going to adapt to a play. I mean, is there better people to have really
Right.
than? I
It's
mean,
what it's
unless
supposed to be.
Unless they just can't do it. Again, the first case, it's jump scares. It's loud jump scares, like my speakers were rumbling. Very predictable, cliche. It could have been good, I think. It was a creepy place. It was,
Right.
like you said, it's not. Didn't necessarily need to have guards. The second case where the teenager gets into the accident, hits that
Right.
goat, devil, demon
Yeah.
thing, whatever. And it has good humor in that one.
Yeah.
And the set, the location, being in the woods, it was good. Third case with Martin Freeman, the expecting father or whatever. They're getting ready to have a kid. That was a good story. Good cast, great atmosphere, shot really well. Not the most original overall, but it's done really well. I give it an 8.
And you?
I picked it because
Oh yeah, this is your pick. Yeah.
it is my pick. I had only access to Hulu, which led this to be the best movie that I saw on Hulu at the time.
Yeah. It's a good movie. What out of 10? What would you give it?
I think I'm going to give it a 7, even less than you.
Well,
even though it was
what's
my
your thoughts
pick.
on it? Give us some thoughts.
My thought is that I picked it because I saw a lot of reviews online, and like in the trailer for it, it was a 10 out of 10. And
It was hyped.
that's what the yes, it was
It was
hyped.
overhyped, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe
I
it
saw-
wasn't, but it caused me to go in expecting
It
a lot more.
was.
And then when
No,
that first case comes around, it's like, well, really?
I
Like, you guys are
liked
hyping like
I like that.
it's
but
a girl pops up out of nowhere and then she disappears, and then she's behind a blanket. Like it was.
but the reviews that I read were either 10s or 2s, and I thought I'd pick it to get a fair review. Almost want to give it a 7 because, I mean, like, I get the people's comments that they left were like, I didn't see enough. They were kind of bare. Not enough happened in the story.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was watching it as the title of the movie, and like growing up, hearing ghost stories is what it felt like when I was watching. Because when you hear someone that you know, like a friend or whatever, tell a ghost story, there isn't always a lot of resolution to it, or a lot of,
Detail. Yeah.
detail or ending. They kind of give you the setup of what was happening at the time of day, what they saw, and that's the end. You don't always get a conclusion to it. Watching it felt like I was hearing ghost stories that I had heard growing up. So I think that's what it was trying to be, was a collection of ghost stories. I think they did a good job tying it all together. Maybe a bit confusing.
A little bit.
A little bit
But if you
confusing
just-
at the end. Like, I get the point, but not quite exactly how they all tied in. Like, I get how they tried to tie it in, but maybe a little bit confusing. But it felt like I was listening to ghost stories, and I liked it for that, so I'll give it a 7.
What'd you give it?
Fuck, I can't remember. I think it's approved though.
Fuck, I can't remember.
I have to go back.
I don't have my notes.
He's got his notes this time
Go my
around.
notes.
I don't know, a 3
Let me
maybe?
see how fast it is.
Paper's a lot quicker.
7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 7?
So that makes it approved, right?
What is that, 7 to 7 and 8?
No. That's
A 7 and 8 and a 9.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Who gave it a 9?
I'm just saying things.
It's not approved.
Don't watch this movie.
I gave it an 8, but don't watch it.